I feel like the cover story, the cover page request prepared us for what was going to happen in this chapter. Sanji's trying to meditate, but he couldn't because he's thinking very worldly thoughts, right? Because see, Nami doing her thing. But all hits, no misses for a while now. We've had very, very good chapters for a while now, but this chapter had some very interesting developments. So again, per usual, we get into it. We talk about things that happened. We don't get too deep because, again, we wait for Sunday, the official translations. Once that gives us everything we need to know, then boom, we delve deep and we go from there. And I think based off of what happened last week, that's always the best situation. People always say, well, why don't you just wait and then do it for the official? Because I don't want to. All right, I don't want to. Okay, so what I do sometimes, I go back and I read or rewatch my initial reactions to the chapters, right? Because then this is me just reading the chapter, coming off the live reaction. This is how I feel immediately, right? As opposed to Sunday, it's with me for a few days. Then all of a sudden, there are things I pick up on. I started feeling differently about certain things. I think it's good. Sometimes it's like, my own video journal in a way, just like recording my journey through One Piece. And you guys are here to experience it with me. So thank you so much for being here. And without further ado, let's get to One Piece chapter 997. Because it was certainly a treat. First, I want to give a shout out to Arthur from the Library of Ohara, because he was the only person that I saw that pointed out what Sanji was doing, or rather, what happened at the end of the chapter was basically a joke or a gag, something of Japanese lore that you wouldn't understand unless you had some knowledge about the Japanese culture, or most so understanding the Japanese language. So for Arthur, he picked up on that and he released it. I put it in my video, my last analysis in regards to what it actually meant. And he ended up being correct, where it was a woman and jokingly in a play, he's pulling her sash to reveal her and for her being naked. And in this chapter, it's revealed that that's what they were doing. He was pulling on a sash or whatever, but it was a setup. It was essentially a setup for Sanji. It's funny because today I had Zoro fans and Sanji fans that didn't really like how I felt about certain things that happened in the chapter. But here's the thing with Sanji. I'm not that mad.
That's cap!
And I've been thrown into the Sanji fan bucket where people classify me as a diehard Sanji fan, even though sometimes I like Zoro more. And in this chapter, I definitely liked Zoro a lot more because, again, what Sanji is doing here, I don't think is detrimental based off of who we know Sanji to be. If you had different expectations, this could trigger you. But for me, this is almost status quo based on what we expect from Sanji, based on how Oda has set him up, right? Everything for Sanji and what we've seen for the New World mostly, he is someone that's a gentleman. If a woman is in distress, he's going to go in and save them. So in this instance, while, when you're looking at it, initially you're like, oh my God, this is so bad. It's not that bad. This is Sanji trying to save someone who he thought was being sexually assaulted. That's not bad, right? But when you look at the entire picture, it's, okay, Oda is using Sanji in this scenario again, where he's being taken advantage of by a woman, or in this instance, his worldly desires. Not bad, but when you look at the history and the pattern, it does become a bit troublesome for people that expect a lot from Sanji. Personally, again, doesn't really bother me. It's whatever. I'm interested to see how he gets out of this, because recently, when Sanji encounters a female on an island, he normally flips them. It happened with Viola. It happened in Whole Cake Island. And now with Black Maria, she could be a spy. We've been speculating that she could be a spy. What if Sanji turns Black Maria, right? And I think that's definitely a possibility based on how MIA Black Maria has been. So we gotta wait and see. I don't think this is an L or anything. It's just in line with what we've expected from Sanji, and so it's fine.
It is what it is.
There's a gorilla growing out of a woman, and then there's a snake. Listen, Oda, you are certainly creative. The major part of this chapter, well, a major part, the major part is at the end, but a major part involves Zoro. Well, we saw Big Mom going through the ceiling, and then something came through. I'm reacting, I'm like, what's going on? I'm not sure why Oda felt the need to say crumbles. I didn't get it till the end, because initially, and for people that were at my reaction, you guys saw it, where I was like, okay, this is a weird transition. What these panels, I wasn't sure what was going on. Going back, after I knew what happened, a lot more impactful. First off, we had Zoro. He looked up, crumbles. Then there's a weird panel. Like, what is this face about? It was Kiku's arm. So after Zoro saw that, he flipped a switch. He was like, we're ending this now. Now, one thing that I was mildly just confused about was, well, not confused, is okay, it could have been done a bit better, is showing where Apu was in proximity to Zoro at the time, where how far he was, because again, the anime is obviously going to show it. I couldn't tell how far Apu was, so you just feel like, okay, Zoro found Apu, then he just did it. Where I feel like the buildup was cool, but I would have liked to see where Apu was, and then Zoro closed the distance, then boom. Still a great moment for Zoro, because when he's about his business, he gets things done. And normally he's about his business, so he always gets things done. Even past the Apu thing, what I like the most about this entire Zoro moment, or these Zoro moments in general, was his attack to Queen. That was boss, okay? That was torch. Because for Zoro, Queen is playing a game. And he's saying, I'm not here to play a game, bro. I'm here to slay this dragon, who is Kaido, who they say is the strongest in the world. Now, this is the second chapter in a row. We're going to wait for the official, where Oda is using another character to hype up Kaido as the strongest. So, you know, sometimes Oda slightly changes things in regards to what he means and how he's classifying things. I'm not sure if this is what Oda's doing to hype Kaido so that once he falls, it's a great celebration. But I remember people were downplaying Kaido after he got stabbed, after the scabbard thing. Oh my God, this is not what Now people are saying, yo, Kaido is definitely top 1 in One Piece, where I'm like, people are fickle. People are gonna do this. But I think Zoro in that moment versus with Queen was so good. That was a really, really good moment. Like him telling Queen, I'm not here to play a game. That's fire. But don't get me wrong. Him cutting down Apu was absolutely hype as well. And when you think back to what happened with Kiku, it's more impactful because Zoro had moments with Kiku, right? He spent time with Kiku. So for him, seeing an ally and their arm fall down, you assume the worst. What else is up there floating around? What other body parts are dismembered? So I really like that. And I think this is why Zoro is one of my favorite characters, is because stakes. He understands the stakes. For Zoro, he's saying, okay, there's so much going on around me right now, but I just saw her arm fall through the ceiling. Big Mom is headed up there. We are not here to play games, okay? Takes out Apu instantly, which again shows Zoro's strength and how overwhelming he is when he's actually trying really hard. I'm not going to rank the supernova or do anything like that. Again, it's Drake and Zoro versus Apu. It's whatever. This is a Zoro moment. This is a Zoro chapter. Again, I've talked about this before in regards to, you know, if the fight goes back to the capital, then we have to think about the Ryuma thing and Ryuma slaying a dragon over the capital and Kaido possibly dying. This is indeed a possibility. It is. People were getting mad at me when I mentioned it. Like, what are you talking about? Zoro killing Kaido? Again, to clarify, Zoro killing Kaido and defeating Kaido, completely different things. Zoro killing Kaido is him landing the final blow. Zoro defeating Kaido is him being the main player in regards to taking him down, which I don't think would happen. But the fight going back to the capital, things are starting to feel like Oda is going that route. But we'll wait and see when it gets there. But Zoro, at this point, I like this Zoro, right? I mean, he's like this all the time, but I like when Oda shows this, which is why there's a Zoro and Sanji just debacle in the Discord, on Twitter, because opposite ends of the spectrum this chapter, where Sanji got caught based off of the things that he's always done, his worldly desires, his woman loving, and Zoro, being the serious character, being about his business, gets things done. The contrast is astounding. Even though they're both great in my eyes, the contrast in this chapter is astounding. It almost reminds me of when, you know, Sanji did the whole thing by saving Momonosuke, and then Zoro, he was blown up by Apu, which Oda, he's putting them in situations or moments to make the fan base get riled up. He's doing that. And so, while I understand getting riled up and having spirited debate, you can do that without being just completely toxic. But I don't think a lot of people know how to do that. Zoro was the man in this chapter. Rightfully so. The title of this video should just be Zoro or even Woro, because he got things done when he needed to. And to be honest, Zoro is normally very reliable. When we need him, he comes through. That's a W. I absolutely love that Zoro and Chopper moment where Zoro asks Chopper, can you handle this floor? You're not gonna die? He's like, what? No, I figured it out. And then Zoro's like, that's our doc. And it's giving me Vice Captain vibes, right? Where Zoro is instilling confidence in the crew and reassuring them that everything is going to be okay and showing that he has confidence in them, which, you know, I think every crew needs that. And normally the captain does that, but Zoro in this case, he's doing something that Luffy would do in that scenario. Again, in hindsight, when you reread these things and you go through, because after I do a live reaction, I read a chapter like 5 times just to get a feel for it. And that moment as well, like every time I read it, I just smile, right? Because it's like, oh man. Like when Zoro gets gushy, which is a weird way to put it. When he gets mushy, I didn't mean gushy. When he gets like soft and like that, it's cool. It's cool because we normally like he's the hard exterior Ronin. I like that. Anyway, let's move on. This is getting weird. It's interesting as well because when I was doing reaction, someone said when they mentioned earthquake, they thought Blackbeard had gotten there. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. That would have been a crazy thing if Blackbeard showed up just using his earthquake. But we know what was happening. Kaido was happening. Now, besides the fact that Yamato's boobs are twice the size of Momonosuke's head, Yamato provided some very interesting information in regards to dragons, right? And again, last chapter I mentioned we have to start acknowledging the possibility that there's a different race, a new race that is a dragon. I felt like the percentage was low, but the percentage is up to 30 to 40% now that the dragons are indeed a race. Yamato said dragons, they can generate flame clouds, which enable them to fly. And that means right now Kaido is trying, or he was picking up, lifting up using his flame clouds, Onigashima. What seems to be happening here is Kaido is picking up Onigashima to take Onigashima to the flower capital to basically eradicate what's left of the Wano people because they are in the flower capital right now celebrating, eradicate what's left of them and start a new Onigashima. And by him doing that, it's almost spitting in the face of the Kozuki because then they would be no more. Like they have nothing to return to. And basically it would happen on their watch. So this is very savage by Kaido, but I think obviously it's going to backfire in ways that we do not know yet. There were very, very crazy theories that people came up with in regards to how they can save the capital. One was Law moving the island, Zoro cutting the island. It's so many different things people are coming up with, but still we have to wait and see because man, we don't know where things are going to go. Big Mom is headed to where Kaido is at this point, but Kaido is lifting Onigashima, a very, very just amazing thing. Again, I don't want to turn this into Fujitora versus Kaido and all that as people are doing. And I'm just going to appreciate Kaido here and say, this is impressive. This is wildly impressive. And the Kaido lore, the Kaido hype is building. Again, for a while now, all hits, no misses by Oda. And this chapter was definitely a hit. There's a lot we can get into. I think based off of last chapter and this chapter with Yamato, we got to talk about them dragons, man. And what the possibility of what's going on with them. So give me your thoughts and theories about the dragons and what do you think is going on? What do you think about Kaido? Obviously, Zoro. Give me how you feel about Sanji, what happened this chapter. Again, we will get more into everything in every particular detail on Sunday, but so far, so good. Chapter 997, guys. People are asking, Brago, where's your 1,000 prediction? It's coming. It's coming. I'm not sure when yet. We have a break now, so I think I may do a discussion as well, just with my guys talking about this chapter, the past couple chapters, man. It's building. The hype is building. So guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram, Brago.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, guys, like, subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.